Mr. Bessent, the United States today has more income and wealth inequality than has ever existed in the history of our country. You got three people on top, Mr. Musk, Mr. Bezos, and Mr. Zuckerberg, who are now worth almost $1 trillion. That is more than half of the bottom of our society, some 170 million people. Three people, more wealth than the bottom, 170 million. We have more concentration of ownership today than we have ever had. We have more concentration of ownership in the media, where a handful of billionaires like Musk, Bezos, Rupert Murdoch increasingly own the media and the information that the American people receive. We have a corrupt campaign finance system in which a small number of billionaires in both political parties make huge contributions into the presidential and congressional campaigns. When you have a small number of multi-billionaires who have enormous economic, media, and political power, would you agree with President Biden, who last night stated, and I quote, "An oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights, and freedoms," end of quote. That's what President Biden said last night. I agree with him. Do you?
Senator Sanders, I enjoyed our visit.
Talk a little bit closer into the mic.
I enjoyed our visit, and I hope you got my follow-up materials that on the discussions, my previous writings on the tariffs and China. And look, the three billionaires who you listed that all made the money themselves. Mr. Musk came to the country as an immigrant.
I understand that, but what I'm asking you is, when you have a handful of people like Musk, who will soon be part of the Trump administration, and others, when you have three people owning more wealth than the bottom half of American society, when these people have enormous influence over the media, when they spend huge amounts of money in both political parties to elect candidates, what Biden said last night is we're moving toward an oligarchy.
Folks, stop what you're doing. You absolutely have to see the insanity coming out of D.C. again. We're talking about Bernie Sanders, the guy who thinks success is a sin, grilling a Treasury nominee, Scott Bessent. And what's his main attack? Success. He started by whining about three self-made American icons, Musk, Bezos, and Zuckerberg. These guys innovated, they built empires, they created jobs, and now they're worth a lot of money. And what does Bernie call it? Oligarchy? Are you kidding me? This is the American dream. It's not an oligarchy, it's a meritocracy. You don't like it because you want to take it and spread it around.
I'm asking you that question. Do you think, forget how they made their money, do you think that when so few people have so much wealth and so much economic and political power, that that is an oligarchic form of society?
Well, I would note that President Biden gave the Presidential Medal of Freedom to two people who I think would qualify for his oligarchs. So
this is not a condemnation of any one individual. I'm just asking you, would so few people have so much wealth and power?
But
do you think that that is an oligarchic form of society?
Senator, I think it depends on the ability to move up and down the income.
No, that's not really the answer. I mean, even if you had that mobility, no matter who those individuals might be. All right, but let me ask you another question. Right now in America, we have over 22 million workers who are making less than $15 an hour, and nearly 40 million people in our country earning less than $17 an hour. Shamefully, the federal minimum wage, despite the efforts of myself and other people here, have not been raised since 2009 and remains an unbelievable $7.25 an hour. Will you work with those of us who want to raise the federal minimum wage to a living wage to take millions of Americans out of poverty?
Senator, I believe that the minimum wage is more of a statewide and regional issue.
So you don't think we should change the federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour?
No, sir.
Okay. Mr. Bessent, millions of working-class Americans who are struggling to keep their heads above water are paying outrageously high interest rates on their credit cards. Over half the American people who take out new credit cards are being charged interest rates of over 24%. 24%. During his campaign, President-elect Trump promised that he was going to cap credit card interest rates at 10%. I happen to think that that is a very good idea, and I will soon be introducing legislation to do just that. Will you, as if you are confirmed, be supportive of what President-elect Trump said and what I want to see happen, and that is to cap credit card interest rates at 10%?
Senator, I think we can both agree that many credit card companies have been bad actors throughout history, and I will get back to you once.
Now, very simple question. Trump said he wants to cap credit card interest rates at 10%. I agree with him. Will you be supportive of what Trump and I would like to do?
When President Trump takes office, and if I am confirmed, I will follow what President Trump wants to do.
Okay.
Here's the truth, patriots. Bernie and his buddies don't hate the rich. They hate free markets. They want the government to be the biggest, most powerful, most exclusive oligarchy of all. They want to decide who wins and who loses. The nominee, Scott Bessent, handled it perfectly. He said, "These guys made the money themselves. It's about economic mobility. You can start at the bottom and work your way to the top. Isn't that what we're fighting to protect?" Then, the minimum wage trap. Bernie wants to impose some giant, federal, one-size-fits-all, mandated $15 or $17 wage. Wake up. This isn't charity. This is economics. When you force small businesses to pay astronomical wages, you know what happens? They close. They automate. He's not fighting for the poor. He's fighting to make them more dependent on the government. Bessent got it right again. It's a state and regional issue. Let local economies decide, not DC. Bureaucrats. But here's the kicker, the moment of real genius in this exchange. Bernie tries to trap him on credit card interest caps, right? He tries to link his socialist idea to a populist move by President Trump. And what does Bessent say? He doesn't cave to Bernie's nonsense. He stands firm. If I'm confirmed, I will follow what President Trump wants to do. Boom. That's called loyalty to the president, loyalty to the mandate, and loyalty to the people's choice. This entire hearing was a masterclass in why we have to be vigilant. Bernie Sanders sees successful people and sees targets. We see successful people and see inspiration. We need people like Scott Bessent who understand free markets in key positions. What do you think? Are these billionaires oligarchs, or are they American success stories? Let me know in the comments below. Hit that like button, subscribe, and together we will keep America free and prosperous. See you next time.